In this video, we are going to look out how we can actually create the jar file and the war file. Ideally, when you run your application in the any of their ID, let's say IntelliJ, right? So your application, you run it and directly run from the main application, right? So you open this particular main class and you run it, you will be able to run that application. But ideally, there are situations or there are you want your application to be deployed as a standalone, right, instead of the embedded server. So in that case, how do you make that particular changes and how to create that particular jar or war file? I'm going to look out and show you how we can do that. Okay, so here if you go to the pom.xml, here if you see I have created, here you already know that we have the dependencies over here, right? So and here if you see in the package dot, I have added one thing over here, right? Currently if you are not adding this particular thing, what will happen is that you have to go to the Maven and then you have to clean and then package it. Okay, so if you want to create any of the jar files or a war file of your application, right, so you have to clean and then package it. Okay, so I will let me run this particular thing. Now if you look at this particular thing, it has created under this particular target folder. Okay, and if you see here, this is going to create in the jar file over here. Okay, now we'll go to the folder and we'll check out that particular. This is the folder over there where the project is there. Now under this, if you see, there is a target folder created over here. Under this, if you see, this is the jar file created. Okay, now you might be wondering how to create a war file now, because we have created the jar file. So what we have to do is, I'll show to the, I'll go to the again the IntelliJ ID. Now you have to just uncomment this and then you will be able to print it. Now you have to just add this particular packaging as war file. Why earlier I have commented, because by default the jar would be created. If you want specifically to be the war structure, you can actually add this particular packaging attribute over here and then we'll run this. Now if you look here, the war file has been created over here and it will be structured in that way. We will go to the folder again and we'll check it out. If you see here, this is the war file created over here. Okay, so you have to go to this particular folder and check it out. I hope this video was very helpful to you and you got an understanding of how to create a war file and a jar file. Now this particular is one of the important interview questions, because many people are only aware of how to run that particular application from the main Spring Boot application. But ideally, there has been a questions asked in many interviews where they ask about how do you create a war file or a jar file and deploy it in an external server, right? So these are the steps. So I hope you got that particular steps in the pom.xml what to add up in order to create the jar file and the war file. Thank you for watching.